This is NewsCenter 5, New England's television news leader.
Is there proof Detective Mark Furman is a racist? An important ruling tonight for the O.J. Simpson defense team. Macworld, the next generation. Thousands of Apple enthusiasts come to town wondering if there's a window of opportunity. And they were the kings of the road, a triumphant homecoming for the first-place Red Sox.
Now, NewsCenter 5 tonight with Chet Curtis and Natalie Jacobson.
Good evening and welcome to this delayed edition of NewsCenter 5. I'm Brian Leary. Chet and Natalie have the night off.
And I'm Heather Kahn. The Simpson defense calls it an act of God, a witness who may now come forward with evidence that L.A. Detective Mark Furman lied to the jury.
A North Carolina appeals court made the ruling today, which could lead to the jury hearing audio tapes in which Furman allegedly makes racist remarks. But questions remain about the woman who made those tapes. Also today, prosecutors try to undo the damage caused by a defense DNA expert. Jerry Giordano reports from Los Angeles.
An appeals court in North Carolina ruled screenwriter Laura Hart McKinney not only has to testify in the Simpson case, but also has to release tapes and transcripts made during an interview with Detective Mark Furman. The defense plans to use this to impeach Furman, who testified he had not used a certain racial slur in the past 10 years. Johnny Cochran called it the most important ruling in the case so far.
It's his voice. I've heard his voice. It's statements that directly impeach what he says. It also goes to implicating people falsely and that sort of thing. So these are the kind of things we'll be looking at. Now, I think that's very relevant from the standpoint of impeachment.
Meantime, defense DNA expert Dr. John Gerdes wrapped up his testimony and seemed to waver on his assessment of the DNA test results.
Isn't it in fact the case that if there's an RFLP match on a sample, in your opinion, that validates the PCR result on that sample?
It can.
Haven't you previously testified that it does?
I probably have in the past, yes.
Still, Gerdes held firm his assertions that no matter how many labs did the DNA testing, it wouldn't matter because evidence was tainted from the very beginning.
Does the reliability of a PCR-based technique depend on the standards and the quality of the lab that's using the technique?
Absolutely.
Then the defense attempted to water down the mind-boggling odds that point the finger at O.J. Simpson. A professor of statistics from Berkeley told the court the numbers given by the prosecution are overblown because analysts did not factor in an error rate. That statistician, meantime, will be back on the witness stand when testimony resumes here Tuesday morning. I'm Jerry Giordano reporting in Los Angeles for ABC News.
And a defense lawyer in the Oklahoma bombing case tonight says there's been a major development which could help his client. Investigators today confirmed that they have found a leg at the bomb site which has not been matched to any of the known victims of the bombing. The attorney for suspect Timothy McVeigh says the discovery raises the possibility that the person responsible for bombing the Oklahoma Federal Building died in the blast.
And we think that it may be significant. There may be some innocent explanation for it, but it hasn't surfaced yet.
The medical examiner is now looking at DNA tests and re-examining its records to determine if the leg belonged to one of the known victims. It's expected that McVeigh and fellow suspect Terry Nichols will be indicted by the end of the week.
In Melrose today, hundreds gathered to pay final respects to 4 members of a single family. 3 generations had to say goodbye to cherished friends killed in a fiery highway crash last week. NewsCenter 5's Amalia Beretta reports the mourners are turning to faith in their search for answers.
In Melrose, a morning of haunting processions, 4 black hearses, 4 mahogany caskets, and the echoing footsteps of a family dealing with unimaginable grief.
They're all close. It's a very close family.
With his remaining daughter, Stephanie, at his side, Stephen Picardo said goodbye to his wife, his daughter, his mother-in-law, and his nephew, all killed in last week's fiery crash in Londonderry, New Hampshire, their car rear-ended by a dump truck on Interstate 93. Eulogized today were 77-year-old Kathleen Sullivan, her daughter, 46-year-old Patricia Picardo, Patricia's daughter, 12-year-old Amanda Picardo, and her cousin, 11-year-old Colin Wanch, who was visiting from California. Many who came to St. Mary's Church today were children, friends of Amanda's who won't soon forget her.
She was the first altar girl, and I remember I was here the first time, and she was just smiling, and that's all she ever did was smile. She was just the happiest girl.
But now there is a massive hole in the Picardo family, and in the aftermath of last week's accident, Kathleen Wanch is experiencing a unique kind of sorrow. She survived the crash that killed her son. saved from the burning wreckage by a group of truck drivers who pulled her out. In the absence of answers about why such a terrible tragedy had to happen, people here turned of necessity to their faith.
We are a people of hope, and we are a people of faith. And if there is any time in our life when perhaps the words take on greater meaning, are the words that we recite so often that tell us that we are a people who walk by faith and not by sight.
Amalia Barreda, NewsCenter 5 Tonight.
Hoping to find the missing link to last month's T crash on the Green Line, NTSB investigators are returning to Boston tomorrow. Sources tell NewsCenter 5 they will be conducting several interviews, including the crucial one with trolley driver Elizabeth Gabrielle. She was at the controls when her train slammed into another car at Copley Station, injuring 35 people. The train says the T was traveling faster than the posted speed limit. Since the accident, Gabrielle has been unable to speak because of a broken jaw. Sources say she's now at home, able and willing to be interviewed by authorities.
A legislative committee on Beacon Hill today took the first step to close loopholes in the state's drunk driving laws. Lawmakers approved a proposal requiring police officers to obtain blood alcohol and drug tests for all drivers involved in car crashes causing serious injury. 19-year-old Rena Dionisio was struck and killed a year and a half ago, that is, on Route 9 when she stopped to help victims of another car accident. The driver was cited for speeding. Dionisio's parents testified today that an alcohol test would help answer some of their questions.
She was killed because of a drunk driver or not because of a drunk driver. It was an innocent accident or it was a preventable one. You know, when there's a death like this, the first thing is why? Why did it happen?
Another proposal would require hospitals to report results of alcohol and drug tests to police within 48 hours of an accident. Tonight, the State Attorney General's office has paved the way for cities and towns to let civilians guide traffic at construction sites. Attorney General Scott Harshbarger upheld a local bylaw approved by the town of Halifax to allow civilian flaggers at construction sites instead of police officers. Halifax police fought the measure, saying they'll lose thousands of dollars in detail pay. The ruling means all Bay State communities can now have the option of using civilian flaggers.
Thousands of computer experts are converging on Boston tonight for the massive World Expo 1995. The conference will cover all of Apple's hardware and software, and the exhibits would fill 7 football fields. But looming on Apple's horizon is the release of Microsoft's Windows 95 operating system in 2 weeks. NewsCenter 5's David Bueri is live at the World Trade Center. David?
Brian, this is going to be a huge show spread out over 2 sites, the Trade Center here and the Bayside Exposition Center. About 50,000 people are expected. And what seems strange is that Apple is giving almost as much attention to Microsoft.
Just showing off Apple's digital camera. And in fact, right now, it's a QuickTake 150, and I'm just connecting to it. That's the image that I just took of you.
The show starts tomorrow, but the party started tonight with a show. After all, this is about sales, and the biggest Mac World on the East Coast comes at a critical time in a turbulent industry. At Cybersmith in Cambridge tonight, Apple was showing its latest hardware and software.
Publishing, people doing personal publishing, documents such as this. We actually have people doing database applications.
The exhibit is designed to demonstrate Macintosh superiority to the Windows 95 software that Microsoft is going to launch in the next 2 weeks.
We're not unhappy, frankly, to see the major competition that we have on the platform side adopting virtually all the technologies we pioneered and refined for the last 10 years.
But analyst John Olczyk says Apple may have the superior products, but it's lost the war.
Well, Apple can keep themselves in the game. Apple can keep their name out there. They can keep comparisons to the Windows 95. But the fact is that most of the desktops in corporate America are Windows 95 based. Most of the home systems are Windows 95. In fact, even in Apple's strongest markets, it doesn't have the majority of the share.
We have the highest customer loyalty ratings of anyone in the industry, consistently year after year after year, and I think these shows are important testaments to that.
The niches where Apple is strongest are education, publishing, and the home. And the analyst says shows like Macworld are aimed at holding that share, even when it means trying to use the competition's hoopla. Apple is a $10 billion company, and while there be a debate as to whether or not it can increase its market share, I think everyone agrees that it can't afford to lose its current users. With this live report from the World Trade Center, I'm David Boyer for NewsCenter 5 Tonight.
Covering Greater Boston and all of New England, this is NewsCenter 5 Tonight.
Catching cancer before it's too late. A promising new advance tonight involving the imperfect science pap smear.
A well-known local restaurant chain faces a multi-million-dollar lawsuit following the allergy-related death of a customer.
Boy, could we be seeing a lot of blue skies in our future. Details in a few minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kristen Daly, and welcome back to Lottery Live on Channel 5. Well, it's Monday once again, and that means Mass Cash. Mass Cash is your best chance at winning $100,000. All you have to do is match these next 5 numbers. Let's take a look and see how you did tonight. Our first number down is number 20, and that's followed by number 22. Next out is number 10. If you've got these 3 numbers, you're on your way to Mass Cash. Our next number is 2, and the final number this evening is 7. Once again, the winning Mass Cash number for August 7th is 2, 7, 10, 20, and 22. Don't forget, I'll be back in just a few seconds with a lottery update, so stick around and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Covering Greater Boston and all of New England, Chet Curtis, Natalie Jacobson, meteorologist Dick Albert with weather, and Mike Lynch with tonight's sports. Now, NewsCenter 5 Tonight continues.
A New Hampshire family is suing a popular restaurant chain tonight for what it calls a fatal mistake. 31-year-old Janet Walker ate at Bertucci's restaurant in Salem, New Hampshire last year. Walker had severe food allergies. Her mother says she asked if there were nuts in the sandwich she ordered, and the waitress said no, but there were nuts in the sandwich. When Walker finished eating, her tongue reportedly began to swell. She was rushed to the hospital, where she died a week later.
Death that could have been avoided. Bertucci's apparently made a conscious decision not to inform the public of the ingredients of their pesto sauce. Had they done so by simply putting on the menu that it contained nuts, Janet Walker would be alive today.
Bertucci's has denied any wrongdoing.
On the Health Beat tonight, a significant advance in detecting cervical cancer. Currently, pap smears are the standard test of detection, but too often these tests are misread, and women who have the potentially deadly cancer find out after it's too late. In Washington today, preliminary approval of a new and far more accurate procedure. The failure rate for pap smears is shocking. According to the National Cancer Institute, the test fails to detect 1 in every 5 cases of cervical cancer. Errors hit close to home in 1993 when Rhode Island's Newport Hospital admitted misreading thousands of pap smear tests. The misdiagnosis cost one woman her life. The new test, called PapNet, gives doctors a way to double-check the accuracy of a pap smear, significantly increasing the chances that cervical cancer will be caught early when it is easily cured.
This is a very exciting step forward. It will unquestionably improve the quality of pap smear reading in the country.
The pap smear is a simple test. A doctor collects cells from the cervix, then sends them to a lab where specially trained technicians look for abnormalities. The new technology, the PapNet test, uses a computer to re-examine those cells. The company that makes the test says it is 97% effective in finding abnormalities.
This will help detect that cancer early so it can be treated, usually as a simple outpatient procedure.
Now, if the FDA gives final approval of this new device, it will be the first new test for detecting cervical cancer in 40 years.
Dick Albert's in next with a look at the weather today. Just about perfect. But what will tomorrow bring?
Later, emotional debate begins on the Senate floor as lawmakers discuss how best to reform the welfare system.
And go get the brooms. The Red Sox attempt a sweep at Sky Dome.
It was indeed a perfect 10 today.
Yes, it was, and we're going to see more perfection the next couple of days.
Terrific.
So I love it. I love New England. I love this forecast that I'm giving to you. Let's look at Earthwatch and see where it is raining. Not in our neck of the woods. It rained enough over the weekend, but look at this rain. Nashville, some thunderstorms. We head up the East Coast. Washington, New York, Boston, Montreal, Toronto. Every spot, the weather is beautiful. Lots of clear skies. You have to go several miles from here to find any clouds at all. And the temperatures are cold tonight, comparatively speaking. 59 in Falmouth. It's clear, it's calm. 57 in Worcester, 62 in Boston, 56 in Portsmouth. In Easton to the south, it was 55, and in Manchester by the Sea, it was 55 about a half an hour ago. So it is a cool night. The big guy, high-pressure system just sitting on New England will dominate our weather right on through Thursday here. It'll get slightly warmer the next couple of days, and all these showers and thunder showers to the west right in here going to be staying there because this high-pressure system just too strong will not allow them to get in here. So 70s along the coast, high tide tomorrow, about 9:30 in the morning. Won't be quite so chilly on the beaches, a nice beach day. And so the high-pressure system will be dominating our weather. Certainly a winter tomorrow. In the tropics, one circulation, but no storm off the coast of Africa. Another one in the Gulf. It's going to be a big season for the remainder of the season. The prediction is 11 storms, 7 reaching hurricane strength, and 3 severe storms. So we'll be watching the tropics for you very closely. Meanwhile, a close look at the forecast will show you it's pretty nice. Clear and cool the rest of this night, 48 to 56. And then tomorrow after that chilly start, sunny and beautiful in the afternoon, 75 in the coast, low 80s inland, light easterly breezes. Tomorrow night, clear and calm, 50 to 60. And Wednesday, a little warmer, mostly sunny and very pleasant, 80 to 86. Should be a pleasant day on Thursday. I think it's going to stay mostly dry Friday and Saturday, temperatures in the mid to high 80s. Just a chance of a brief shower or thunder shower.
Everybody's in a good mood today, including you.
Yes,
my goodness.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dick.
All right, Dick. When we come back, tempers flare as the White House, or the House rather, begins its hearings on Whitewater. With the White House, its target.
The fight to overhaul the country's welfare system is taking shape tonight on Capitol Hill. Republicans are setting the cutoff period at 5 years for welfare recipients. Democrats say the plan would be tough on children whose parents would be forced to work without any child care. Senator Bob Dole says there could be some changes, but other Republicans say there is no compromise.
It does not deal with illegitimacy. It continues to provide the resources to give people more and more money, to have more and more children on welfare.
Despite all the differing factions, lawmakers believe there is a good chance that a welfare reform bill will soon become law.
Round 2 in the Whitewater hearings on Capitol Hill get underway today, this time in the House of Representatives.
Wall Street Journal this morning regarding Mr. Lassiter and drug use.
There will be order in this committee.
After some heated debate, committee chairman Jim Leach said he'll prove President Clinton and the First Lady benefited from the Whitewater land deal while taking funds from Madison Guaranty Savings and Loan. Bank examiner James Clark told the committee he could not connect the Clintons to an illegal real estate fraud scheme at the S&L. Democrats are accusing Republicans of playing politics to embarrass the president.
We have had a series of Republicans asked to look into the Whitewater matter. What we have here are, started out as 6, now 60 accusations in search of proof. None can be found.
Tomorrow, Republicans will call investigators who say savings and loan owner James McDougal diverted proceeds to Whitewater and Clinton's gubernatorial campaigns. Tonight, the Clintons' friend and former Justice Department official Webster Hubbell is spending his first night in jail. Hubbell is serving 21 months for mail fraud and tax evasion. He stole nearly $500,000 from clients at the Little Rock law firm where he worked with Hillary Rodham Clinton. One of those clients was investigating the failed savings and loan at the heart of the Whitewater controversy.
All right, coming up in sports, Bill Parcells has some interesting comments about his Patriots.
And the Red Sox may want to keep their road trip going tonight.
There was a time when they couldn't win any place but Fenway Park, but times have changed, and it's a welcome change for the Sox. They did it again today.
How do you get from here to here? On 5 Online, a hot new website on the internet. 5 Online, that's coverage you can count on.
Here's the lottery update. We had 4 top prize winners tonight. Tickets were purchased in Chicopee, Fall River, Westminster, and Brookline. We'll see you tomorrow.
Well, the Red Sox are back home tonight, but they're probably just as happy to have the bus driver cruise right past Fenway Park. They won again today. They finished the road trip at 8-2. They are road scholars once again. Here's the Sox, happy smiles, happy faces coming home to Fenway tonight. They arrived around 9:30 coming in from Toronto. The Indians will be in tomorrow night in Toronto this afternoon. Mo Vaughn, the American League Player of the Week. He had 15 runs batted in on this road trip alone. That put the Sox up 2-0. Top of the 5th, Al Leiter's pitch goes right off the face mask of umpire John Hirschbeck. The catcher has no idea where it is, and Willie McGee is in from second base as the Sox getting the ball to bounce their way. Clemens should have had a win today. Went into the 7th inning, yielding a 1 run. He gave up 8 hits and 7 strikeouts. He was lifted. 4-1 lead the next inning. However, Devon White hits a 3-run homer off Stan Belinda, and the game is tied at 4, so Clemens does not get the win. In the 9th inning, watch this play by Valentin to get Robbie Alomar at first base. So sweet as that. And then in the 10th, the bases were loaded. McFarland's up, and he hits one to short right field. Canseco's going to try to tag up. Does he beat the throw? Yes, he does. The Road Scholars survive. They win again, 8-2 on the road trip. Things are going their way. Now, in New York tonight, what do you do? Huh? Do you run the other way when you see a squirrel coming? Yankees. Now watch this. Mike Mussina knocks the ball down, fires it away, and it's all New York tonight. The Yankees are playing great baseball. They'll be in here a week from tonight. Jack McDowell had a 3-hitter, and the Yankees win 3-0 to keep pace with the Red Sox, who win it in 10 innings. So the standings in the American League East look like this. The Sox lead over the Yankees is 5.5 games, and their lead over Baltimore, 9 games. The Sox are 15 games over 500. That's the best they've been this year. National League, Atlanta is a winner. Los Angeles wins in 12 over San Francisco, and the Mets take out Florida 5-2. Well, Patriots backup tight end John Burke had his knee scoped today. He heard it yesterday in practice. And Bill Parcells has sent scouts out at other NFL camps looking for some help. Pat's first exhibition game was Friday night down in Foxborough against the Lions. Bill Parcells wasn't too pleased.
There's a few guys, young veteran players, that need to snap out of it. And those, they're in this, well, you know, I'm on the team. I've been here for a while. And then after they begin to get acclimated, they sometimes take a little bit more relaxed approach toward what they should be doing. And I've noticed that in 2 or 3 of them. And I don't particularly like that.
Can I name names, Coach? I guess not. All right, Patriots' second exhibition game is this Saturday night against the Vikings. It'll be in Foxborough, and we will have it for you right here on Channel 5. And after the game, we will have the 5th quarter with all the post-game highlights and reaction live from Foxborough. So, looks like it's going to be a busy fall.
Now, where were the follow-up questions here? I want positions, I want names, home phone numbers.
Classified information, only the highest level.
All right.
He's priceless, though, isn't he?
He is.
All right, thanks,
a lot
Mike.
of laughs.
And thank you for watching. Nice to have you with us.
All right, that's our newscast, everyone. ABC's Nightline is next. Good night.